Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the feedback, the comments. It's been a long time. It's 5:54 a.m. On the 11th of April, and before I get going, I've got a couple of announcements. First, these go back 12 days, so I can't read every comment. It would just be far too long. So I'm not gonna cherry pick, but I'm gonna read every nth comment, so it's fair. The other thing I want to announce is that I'm no longer going to be disclosing my location. It has gotten there's no other way to put this. It's gotten too risky. My channel's grown. There are too many nefarious people out there that they go beyond nasty comments, and it can be very threatening. So I won't be disclosing my location anymore. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry to be circumspect. I mean, sure, in my driving videos, you'll probably know the general area, but for example, when I've mentioned that I'm looking for a permanent place to live, that like a home base. I can't disclose that. So sorry about that, but everything else is going to be as normal. So first one is Joel Genius. Says, Mr. Rob, continue to take care of yourself. I know it's hard, but do as your doctor orders. And for the most part, I've been doing that. And that's referring to my hip surgery, which I had on today's Friday, right? Monday will be a month. So there's still some discomfort, some minor discomfort, and I can't really lift things or bend over completely, but I'm almost completely pain-free. The pain that I'm experiencing, I would describe to be as mild discomfort. Jim Beam says, Dottie said, turn out the lights and go to bed. That's funny. Dusty Cat Travel says, I'm totally grateful for the information I found you through Nomad Life. I think through Irby, my nomadic dream, maybe Deborah Coco, you began your journey around, your hip. My husband has cancer and needs a hip replacement. We're hiking yesterday and he fell all bad. So one day at a time, we're beginning his journey with both. Your information is good for which steps to take for surgery and recovery. Watching you with your friends has been great. Be well. Robert Nasser says, take care of yourself, Rob. Get well soon. Renee Slater, I think it'll be awesome being on hookups. You can take a drive to see sunsets. Look forward to your comparison. You're lucky you can get a plan G. The advisor's against it because of the health issues. Dottie is blowing you off. Take it easy. So, I said I'm going to very likely be in an RV park in Quartzite next year. And again, being consistent, I'm not going to reveal which RV park, so you're not going to see me walking around it or anything, so it can be identified. But you'll see me in town and at my site and all kinds of stuff. Let's see. I'm skipping a lot of those on the positive news because you really have to read the positive news for the comments to make sense. Traveling Girl says, hi, Robin Pets. Glad you're recovering nicely. Sure to hope to meet up with you in July in Eagle Nest. Looking forward to seeing that area. You're looking like you're feeling better. What date do you think you can leave Q? Take care. Well, I already left Q. So I was going to leave on the 7th, but I ended up leaving on the 5th. Debbie Hersko says it would be interesting to see a different side of Quartzite if you park in an RV park. I'm still taking to take on the adventure of Q in the winter. Yeah, I think being in an RV park in Quartzite will be a very different perspective, and I'm looking forward to filming that next year. Even though I said I'm not going to disclose where I'm going to be, I don't know where I'm going to be. The place I want to go, I'm on a wait list, so I haven't been able to make a reservation anywhere. Hi, Rob. Been waiting with great interest to watch your research on a good RV park in Quartzite. Don't get me wrong. My first experience boondocking at Roadrunner for a couple of weeks was great, but my idea of roughing it is late room service or black and white TV. Just kidding. Keep up healing. And sorry, I'm not going to be talking about the RV park that I picked. I may do I'll probably do a general tour of multiple RV parks, though. Mario, Rob, it's nice to see you again. It looks like you're almost complete recovery. It looks like a beautiful day in Quartzite. Let's go on to the next one. Jeremy, glad recovering well. I love your capacity to find great stories for positive examples of action. And he also mentions your mic is working great. Just a little background wind. Lemonade Lady. Hey, Rob and Dottie, I appreciate you share an authentic and unpolished perspective of your travels. I like that you share long and short videos and don't filter, curate, or plan your videos to maximize engagement. That I don't do. She's right. I don't do those things. If you end up watching your long videos, have a higher level of interest. More frequent content is a better use of time than planning and editing to get more views. For those who need the YouTube income, I understand the extra planning, editing, and curation to maximize viewerships. Do it your way if you can. Which generator do you have? I have a Predator 5000 sold by Harbor Freight. And Barb says in your video, you're so quiet I can barely hear it. It's a dual fuel, propane and gas, and I run it on propane. Jeremy says you're so they sound so giving. Take my shirt off if you need it too. That's funny. William Moore, you sound like the worst is over. Just as a comparison, my sister had one of the first his replacements. Sadly, it failed within the year. Oh, so it took a second one and done. It took forever to take. Glad you're getting better and the speedier repair. I had a spinal decompression in Havasu, which took months to be corrective. Did I mention I was in the middle of summer? Ouch, that's hot up there in Havasu. Hang in there, enjoy the future. I also enjoyed your meet and greet with Herbie. Lots of history here. I've listened to your videos by doing jigsaw puzzles on my iPad. Still enjoy your videos. That sounds like fun. Never tried it. Jigsaw puzzles on the iPad. Ken says, I'm stumped. Silver Falcon. Tom is the best of the best on YouTube. Either Silver Falcon posted to the wrong video or did not know your name as Rob, not Tom, would be my guess. Yeah, I'll get a text and I'll have no idea what they're talking about. I can't parse the meaning. And sometimes Ken will get in there and figure it out for me and figure out the references. But this one had him stumped as well. Let's see. Heinz says, always great to see your videos. I'm Dieter, following you whenever I'm turning on YouTube. Was meeting you and Dottie very briefly at Tyson Wells. You gave me your parking spot. Keep up your good work. I remember that on Kuhn Street. I do remember that. Robert Ballard says, hey, Rob, great video and campsite chat your way. I think you're sharing your variations of video the way it should be done. We have you and your unpolished videos. It's really a family affair, and it's great your way. We thought it was great that you got Pup Camp for 15.8. You got Pup Camp for 58, some air conditioning by sharing your generator capacity. That's another big bonus of having that big 5,000 watt generator. I can share it. As a fellow nerd, I always take pride in using my tech to help friends out. Judy. Hey, Judy. Oh, crap. What happened? Oh, here we go. Jim and Daryl are truly angels on earth. They have been so good to me. Yeah, they're great. Daryl and Jim are my good friends and wonderful people. Hey, Rob, Dottie, and George, I'm glad everything you were in operation is going well. You are definitely looking better and acting more energized. You say you don't want or don't like to watch an operation. How it's done. If you got the stomach for it, some doctors will let you watch your own procedure. No, I don't have the stomach for it. No, and no. He says, I'm 67 and my heart will let me watch him install my heart pacemaker defibrillator. It was magnificent. I know it's nothing to brag about, but I've had 29 operations. Oh, goodness. From age of 17 to 67. Most are from 2 different work-related injuries. My left arm, then my back, then my right knee. He's watched several procedures. To each his own. I don't want to see it. I want to go to sleep. I want to wake up when it's done. Utah Paul says, glad you're doing great. Thanks, Paul. Steve says, going to keep my stock parts as long as I can. Well, Steve, all the more power to you if you don't have to have surgery like myself and many people have. Artist Levi, nice beard, Rob. Thank you. Pamela Johnson, looking good, Rob. Take it easy and rest when you can. Gonna miss it when you leave Quartzite. Let's see. Dusty Cat Travel says, love the campsite chats. You're looking great. I can't keep up with what day you're on. Healing seems to be clicking along, though. Well, Dusty Cat Travels, the thumbnail, I believe, says, oh, what day am I? Oh, I'm sorry. That's for this. Yeah, I don't blame you for the. So I went from one extreme to the other. It got so at the end of the season, there weren't enough comments to do a daily thing, so I went to every few days. And now I've jumped so far ahead, I've got hundreds, and I have to pick and choose. SP says, I'm younger and in good shape, and there's no way I'd be able to do what he is doing. Not sure what that means. Desert Deb, hey, Desert Deb, keep moving in slow-mo. I agree with you. The content is valuable. I donated a kidney and binged on YouTube people's of other experiences. Yeah, I certainly did that. Barb Carner, hey, Barb. Barb says you're doing great. Mario Fuentes, pardon me. It's early in the morning, 6 o'clock. Rob, you look great. In another month, you'll be good as new. And let's see, CD Casita. Hey, Charlie and Diane, great update. Glad you're doing well. Look forward to seeing you in a few weeks. Be up in Eagle Nest. Dee Dee Cornell, good morning, Mr. Rob, Dottie, and George. Christy Lena, phenomenal young lady. That's on the 13-year-old with a 162 IQ. Kosternock said, the expanse behind you, wow, that was, I was sitting outside my trailer in Quartzite, and the expanse had no RVs in it because everyone was gone. It's just a big desert expanse. Kosternock said, I love how Pup Camper parked her beautiful blue truck dead center in the background, as though you both choreographed it. Yeah, that was Pup Camper 58. Ken Gray says, good way to measure your reach for exercise. Keep getting better. Chris and 2 Shih Tzus. Good morning, Rob, Dottie, and George. I've been watching your videos and thinking you are offloading your right hip when you're sitting. Also, as you walk, try to keep your right foot straight. Plus, it will help your back in the long run. Just an old RN that cares. I do, when I sit, like right now, I'm leaning off the right hip. And I don't know, it's habit, I guess, because I can lean this way and it doesn't hurt. Donald, does George go walking with you? What about that, George? There's no chance. 0 chance. George on a leash. Not happening. John says, hey, Robert, here's something new. I'll have to try honey in my coffee I just bought from a nice little girl in the big tent. Yeah, honey in the coffee is good. I had this big jar of it all winter, and it's gone. Nancy says, Colorado, the wind speed is 37 miles per hour. Gusts are 65. Friday, Saturday shows snow and rain. When it blows like this, it's so scary. Where was I? I was here on my first or second night in New Mexico, and it was scary. The trailer was blowing more than it did the whole time in Quartzite one evening. Judy says, is anyone else left across the way? And she's talking about me being back in Quartzite, and the answer is no. No, sadly, everybody's gone. Cuddy Wample, looking good, Rob. I'll be leaving Quartzite the 7th or 8th. A lot of people seem to leave and go to Flagstaff for a bit, but I'm not going to do something different off the beaten path. I've decided to head to Roswell, at least to say I've been there. After that, who knows? Nice meeting you, and I hope things continue to be good for you. Well, thank you. Pup Camper says it was another day of adventure and travels with Travel with Dottie. And right after that, Mario says, Cheryl, that's Pup Camper 58. Cheryl's a true angel from heaven, helping you with daily duties and companionship. May the Lord Christ keep on blessing you and your pets. Brave lady, very inspiring to everyone, says Ken. Ken says a back brush does wonders for cleaning the feet. For dry cleaning, you can put the clean wipe on it with a rubber band. Judy says, I also have white coat syndrome, so I understand when I go to the doctor, I have horrible anxiety because most have been real jerks to me about my weight. When I'm not freaked out, my BP is normal. Glad to see you making some progress. Yeah, I definitely have that white coat because I'll measure my blood pressure multiple times a day leading up to the doctor appointment. The morning of, it'll be classic 120/80 around that. It'll be 153/110 in the doctor's office, and I'll freak out. And the reading I've done on a lot of doctors inadvisably start putting people on blood pressure medications because of that. Because they're understanding what their patient's presentation is in their office. They're not understanding what the presentation is in every other aspect of their life. Janet says, where you're heading is still cold weather. Check it out for Eagle Nest. I looked and thought of you. Check it out. I get it. I know. I'm a pretty experienced nomad. I know I can't go to Eagle Nest now. I have to stay down here in southern New Mexico until it gets warm up in the mountains. It's 8,000 feet. Robin Goff says, hey, Robin Cheryl, glad all was good at the doctor. My late husband had white coat syndrome and fear of being admitted to a hospital for any length of time. It was horrible when he was diagnosed with stage 4 small cell lung cancer. He mentioned fatigue, and it's real when healing from surgery. I always told the body heals most when you sleep, so sleep when you feel like you need it. I hope you'll be able to stay in an RV park next year for the season. Your gas bill will certainly be less. You bet. Yeah, fatigue. I would say I'm probably at the 1 month mark on today's Friday, so Monday. I'm going to do probably one of my last videos on the hip replacement surgery, and it's going to be on the 1 month mark. And I'm going to say the most noticeable effect of the surgery for the past week has not been pain, it's not been range of motion, it's been utter exhaustion. I get out of breath easily, I can't do much, and that is absolutely convinced it's the body expending energy, healing, and it's exhausting. And the other sign of that, not just exhaustion, is I've been losing weight. Lori Roar, hey Lori, friend of mine. Cheryl, you're an awesome friend. You're healing well, Rob. Truckin says stopping certain blood thinners can cause fatigue. You might want to check with that particular medication. My blood thinners at this point is 81 milligrams of aspirin a day. Dusty Cat Travels, having a fabulous day, you two. Having see you do have a great day. Donna says, you're not the only one. My mom has white coat syndrome. I think she's on high pressure medication for no reason because of that. Glad you have a good checkup. Yeah, it really could be. What I do is I have my blood pressure monitoring cuff here that's Bluetooth to my phone. So I can hand the phone to my doctor and show him my blood pressure readings over many days. And then they go, because they wanted to I was already on blood pressure medication. That's what's keeping it healthy. They wanted to put me on another one. And after I showed them that, they went, oh, okay, we won't do that. Let's see. Joe Summer says, glad you're doing well, Rob. Been keeping up with the recovery, looking good. Been through 3 major surgeries and know how tough it can be. Keep it up, Rob. Nice and slow. You look great in that shirt. Hey, what do you guys think of the suspenders? And that's part of the weight loss thing. You know, Cheryl has been around a lot helping me out, and one of her most frequent piece of advice is, pull up your pants. Even with the belt on, my pants are slipping off. So the suspenders are going to solve that problem. I know they're not stylish, and it makes me look like an old man, but I don't care about being stylish, and I am an old man. So there. Renee says, I hope you find the answer to your leg pain. Well, the answer to my leg pain is it's going to go away after the healing is done. Cheryl's a good trade. It's shocking how wiped out you get with just doing a little bit. Good for you for napping when you need to. Big B, I'm a new subscriber and loving your content. You mentioned that when you stayed in your RV in Fairfax as a test, you mind please sharing where the location was? Thanks a million. It was Waples Mobile Home Park. And let me tell you something. If you want to be in Fairfax County and live in an RV, very slim. There was Waples RV Park was the only one that I could find within Fairfax County. And it was a mobile home park that had like 4 or 5 designated places for RVs. That's it. And there was a wait list. And I jumped the wait list because I'd been in a park for 6 months that was a sister park, and the woman knew me. So she knew I was a good tenant. So it's really, really hard in Fairfax County. There are no classic RV parks at all in Fairfax County. Let's see, where are we? Brenda O'Rourke says, so glad you're doing well in your recovery. It looks like Dottie's ready for a walk. She's adorable. Let's see. My driver's, Cotty Wample says, my driver's license is good through 2030 run. My car's registration good through 2026. The address won't be right, so considering using my brother's address until I decide what I'm going to do. These expiration dates give me some time to figure things out. Yeah, it's been Nomad driver's license, registration, bank addresses, auto insurance. It's all complicated. It really is. And I'm not going to go into detail on that because there's so many good videos out there from YouTubers that go into detail on it. Maria Fuentes says, Rob, your health is much better today. It's very sound planning ahead of you. I hope you find that dreams place you're looking for soon. Me too. Jersey Girl says, I never responded to you before, however, I must respond to this video. I'm also getting older and share your opinions of wanting a community too. I bought a home in a nice neighborhood and furnished it too. I'm trying to be happy, but I'm not. I miss my trailer and traveling. Your advice was spot on for me. Keep making informative videos. Thank you so much. I replied to that. What did I say? Glad it was helpful. Pretty hard to move a home when things don't work out. Moving an RV, on the other hand, is. That's the beauty of the RV life. If you find yourself in an area that, I don't like it here, turn the key and you're gone. You have sticks and bricks or an apartment. You can do it. It's not so easy, though. Lobster loves stories. Excellent video. We listened to it and provided roots for interesting conversations. Always good to plan ahead. Judy says, I plan to keep my Arizona residency, but will also have a summer residence in California. I will have to pay California taxes if I'm working. Actually, I believe California wants money if you spend just 60 days there. Cumulative. But at least I'll not pay the crazy California fees for my old rig. Let's see. Lori says, great video. Lisa Roth says, hey, Rob, Dottie, and George. Ripley says, would George go for a walk? My cat walks with the lead. Not my cat. Not a chance. I tried that once and only once. I'll never try it again. Let's see. RV Grandma Charlotte. My late husband and I manage the Pahrump Park. There are lots of politics that go around with members. I think she's talking about the um, Escapees Park in Pahrump that I'm on the waiting list for. They were hired by one manager. He was overthrown and fired by the new manager only because they were hired by the previous manager. It was emotionally draining park to work in. Made a lot of friends. Most are dead now, but the leadership was hard. Yeah, I got a flavor of, being a member. I'm currently a member, still a member of Preferred RV Resort in Pahrump. And that's a member-owned park. And yeah, the politics can get nasty. And I don't think that that's unique to either one of these parks. I think any park where people have settled there and that's where they live and there's a board of directors and voting, politics, and it can, if you get into it, it can be nasty. Donald Vesta says, Rob, I'm starting to look for a truck to pull my trailer. Have you ever used four-wheel drive when dispersed camping? There are several rear-wheel drive that are nice. I don't have a four-wheel drive. What I do have is a 2018 F150 XLT 6 Super Cab with a 6.5 foot bed in a 3.5 EcoBoost engine with the tow package. I also have an aftermarket active suspension, so it's an extra suspension in the back, not airbags. It's called Roadmaster is the brand. And it does a really good job of responding to the weight that you put in it and keeping you level. It's been a beast pulling my 2021 Micro Mini 2100 BH. And like I said, it's not four-wheel drive. However, it does have a rear differential lock. For those of you that don't know, a two-wheel drive vehicle, we call them two-wheel drive vehicles, but most commonly, it's actually one of the rear wheel spins. Just one. All right, I know that's maybe hard to accept if you don't know that, but that's, unless you have this feature called the differential lock, that's what will happen. When I turn on my differential lock, both rear wheels spin, making it true two-wheel drive. And it's gotten me in and out of washes without slipping and sliding. It's been quite helpful. Okay, not an expert on trucks at all. Not even close. Not even in the neighborhood. However, anecdotally, when I picked my truck, I had a choice between two. I had that one, and there was a cherry red one that was a V8 four-wheel drive. And it's like, boy, that seems like that would be better. And the salesperson said, and he didn't care, they were both basically the same price. He said, Rob, this EcoBoost is gonna be better. You're gonna be happy of the towing performance of it. That it's only a 6-cylinder versus an 8. That EcoBoost gives you a lot of power, and the extra weight of a four-wheel drive is going to reduce your towing capacity. Now, you still have enough in the four-wheel drive, enough capacity to tow your truck, but the more your truck is rated above the capacity, the easier time you're going to have. So I made a good decision. I listened to him. There's a friend of mine that has a slightly older, not even a four-wheel drive, but a V8 Ford F-150, and they have, with almost the same size trailer, maybe a little bit heavier, has a really hard time getting up hills in the mountain. And I've never had to slow down going up a mountain grade with my rig. So I got really, expertise didn't land me into the right truck, but luck did. So my advice is, if you have a choice, get more truck and more power than you need, because I think it's safer. In other words, don't buy a truck that tows 5,000 pounds and get a 5,000 pound trailer. I think it's more like mine is. I haven't weighed it. I should weigh it, but let's see. Let's be accurate instead of just guessing here, because I know I have in my albums on my truck. I have okay, my dry weight is just over 4,000 pounds. The gross vehicle weight rating is 5,500. So let's say I'm a crazy nomad and I'm 500 pounds over that, which I probably am. Let's say I'm 1,000 pounds over that. So that's 6,500 pounds. The towing capacity on paper for my Ford is 11,000 pounds. So see how far over I am, and the performance is pretty amazing. I lost my place, guys. I'm sorry. RV Life says, don't go in with others. I shared a big boat in Florida. It was a disaster, best intentions, but it never worked. I do escapees for sure. There's a great one in Benson, Arizona. It's fantastic. I have not checked out that one, only because the wait list was really long, and it was pretty expensive. And what he's responding to is saying, one way to find a home base is to find a bunch of friends. You buy land together and live together. That could be a problem. That could be wonderful. It could be a problem. Rob Hebb says, Dottie was ready for her walk. She is a sweetheart. I have to say, when Nomad buys a plot of land, they're not nomads anywhere. They would change being a snowbird. So, I think there was typos, so let me say what I think he meant. I have to say, when a nomad buys a plot of land, they're not a nomad anymore. They changed to being a snowbird. Some people like to reference themselves as nomads. Nomads don't own property. Gypsies also don't own property. Semantics, really. Thank you for this is Rosetta Rodriguez. Thank you for the differences. Sending your healing prayers from the Solar Build team. John Montebello, relevant content, enjoyed it. You look more like you did pre-surgery. It looks like the home stretch is apparent. Chuck Brewington, this was on choosing a home base. This video has me think I'll be looking into the escapees. Thanks. Keep in mind with the escapees, each park is different, and they all have waiting lists. Some are long, some are short. There was one I looked at, I can't remember which one. It had 350 people on the wait list. Yikes. Solar car arrives, but I did explain, if you're an escapees member, you can stay as a guest in these parks. None of them that I've seen take reservations. You have to call the day of. If they have an open spot for you, they'll put you in there. And there's boondocking areas, but there's no guarantee. Oh shit. All right. Escapees lots sound like a good gig. Looking forward to your final decision and getting a lot for the summer. It's a place you had run many, many years ago at the beach. Since we're now 73 and 70, staying stationary seems like a positive thing. Agreed. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be publicizing what my final decision is, as I explained in the start of the video. It's just, it's a sad artifact of the internet that there are people wanting to do harm to you when you're put yourself out on the internet. Sadness. But the priority is taking care of me and mine. Tamara Lemon, let people know they've been let people know they may have been unsubscribed. Hit that subscribe button. I don't know anything about that. Karen Nolan, so happy for your great healing report. Now you're all set to travel safe. Safe travels, Robin Shaw. Let me explain what I said just before, though. Let people know they may have been unsubscribed. Hit the subscribe button. I do not ask people to subscribe or like or comment. I encourage, but I don't ask people to comment because I think it's enough just by putting these videos out there as a request for you to view them. And I'm also, by definition, since I'm monetized, requesting that you tolerate whatever commercials YouTube deems appropriate to put on my channel. I will not ask people for any more than that. I think that's unreasonable. Dame the First, extra cost shopping in stores. Home Depot is going to charge for parking. Really? That seems very unlikely. Can you imagine in the town where there's a Lowe's and a Home Depot, and Home Depot charges for parking and Lowe's doesn't? That would drive some business to Lowe's. Pup Camper, hey, it was a fun day with you guys in Yuma, and Rob got news that the doctor will be hitting the road on Saturday. We're catching up here. We're catching up to almost leaving Quartzite. Let's see. Barb says, I'm so happy for you. Safe travels to you and Cheryl. She was totally awesome. My mom and dad, this is Jackson, my mom and dad live in one of the Arizona RV resorts where you own your own lot. That's certainly one of the possibilities, right? There are lots of them. They tend to be expensive, but sometimes you can get a good one. They bought it many years ago when it was very inexpensive. One thing about owning the lot is you can rent it out when you're gone. The place where my parents live is very popular and rentals are in high demand. That can offset the cost of purchasing. That's a really good point. That is a good point. Okay. Nash says, I'm so glad you got walkie-talkies. These are great for traveling in caravan. I've been on the highway out west and no cell service, so the walkie-talkies come in handy. Safe journey. Big hug to Dottie and George. I'll take care of that. I was just checking on Dottie there. She's still sleeping. Mario, Rob, you're like a kid in a candy store with your new talkie-talkies. They're walkie-talkies I was using. Cheryl and I were using traveling. Let's see. The Dusty Cat travels. Happy trails. And have you done any gadget videos? Have I done gadget videos? Yes. I haven't seen them. Well, go digging. They're in there. I have to go back and check your videos, like the flying selfie stick. I'm looking forward to your next adventure and catching up. Yeah, I'm a gadget guy. And I just got a notification from YouTube. Congratulations, you have 2,000 videos. Renee says, woohoo, look at you. Dottie is so happy. That's awesome. Happy and safe travels. $325 is cheap. What did I pay $325 for? Anyone? What's $325? I don't remember. Rats. Randy, hey Randy, yay, wonderful news, such an awesome recovery, Rob. Very happy for your hugs for sweet Dottie and George. That's the big problem with waiting so long. Is I talked about something that cost me $325. I don't remember what it was. Desert Dad, I'm glad to see you're back to normal. Pamela Johnson, so happy you're doing well. Your life is such an adventure. Pop Designer says, thanks for sharing your hip replacement experience. You're walking great. Have a safe trip to your next campsite. And Dom the First says, congrats. Great to see you walking freely, but still mindful not to overdo. Hey, Rob, use your Escapees Pass and try out the co-op park in Lakewood, New Mexico. Good suggestion. That's exactly what I did. So that one will be the third one that I visited. JMK, I used to have a dog named Dottie who had ears exactly like that, little radar dishes. Robert Beller said, hey, Rob, spectacular to see you walk again in Dottie. Really enjoying it without much pain. You're recovering nicely and a true inspiration to others considering the procedure. I wish you a pain-free journey to your next campsite. Many more walks with us in Dottie. See you down the road. Yay, great looking. Glad recovery's doing well. It's good to see you up and around again. Stay safe and God bless. Happy for you and Dottie. Ken says, glad you're doing okay. Keep getting the exercise. And we're at 41 minutes and I'm still 5 days ago. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to skip more. Oh, Anaj says $325 a month. That's great. My friend pays $500 a month for an 11 by 11 bedroom in someone's house. Rent's very expensive. The $325 is one of the places I called that I liked in Quartzite. Keep in mind, I didn't make a reservation anywhere because I had to get on waiting lists. But it was $320. It came out to $325 a month plus electricity. That's good. That was what the $325 was. And here, this just blows my mind. This Renogy inverter fails to run microwave is a video I did 2 years ago that keeps getting traffic because I had a very specific problem on my inverter and it had a unique solution and lots of people find it and get really excited because it's the solution they were looking for. Leon Ardone says, damn, bro, thank you. I had the same problems and you saved me much. Appreciate. Let's see. Randy, a little sad to see a season end, but adventure continues. Safe travels to you, Dottie, and George. The adventure is continuing. And just what is it, April? 6 weeks from now, it easily can be in the tentative plans are going to be, I'll be back in Eagle Nest because it'll be warm enough on June 1st. Carol McCarr, I enjoy seeing your videos because I've never traveled much out west, and the places you're at, I've always wanted to go. I've always wanted to go to Oatman off 66 and see the donkeys, but I also enjoy seeing other places that you go. Please don't forget to show us the countryside and the towns and stuff when you go through because I really enjoy them. I enjoy your program on YouTube. I watch it every day. You seem to be a nice person. You're always so nice to everyone and help everyone that you can have safe travels. I can't wait to see where you're going to be staying next. You also have made such nice new friends and I really enjoy it. If I wasn't the age of 80, I wouldn't have done that. I would have done that too, but I didn't know anything about traveling with people like that back when I was 62. There are people in their 80s out here. Really, more than you would think. I was 62 when I retired because I was raised in the Air Force and my father was military, and I always enjoyed all the traveling, so I think I'll become a gypsy from being a dad military service, and I still like traveling. Have a safe trip, Carol. Montana wife said the whole parking lot thing at Cracker Barrel made me so nervous. I don't handle things like that well. Pam says that was an exciting trip from Q to the casino. Cheryl's a clever nurse finding wheelchairs and golf carts. Let's see. Leaving Quartzite with great memories. That's Mario Fuentes. Jack Brown says always have 2 or 3 alternative spots to stop for the night. Pick the alternate destinations if you starting a journey. Have their addresses ready to program into phone. I don't like driving at night. I don't like start early in the morning, so sometimes I don't travel too far for during the daylight hours. Well, Jack, I'll quote from Rusty, 78609. You do you, I'll do me. Kosternock, Dottie looks like she's ready for New Mexico. She's such an impressive leader. Ken Gray, good job. Did you wear your leg squeezers? Yes, I did. Every day traveling, I wore my leg squeezers full time. Let's see. Blazer says safe travels. Richard Ross says, which motor does Cheryl have in her truck? Not only, it's an 8-cylinder, a V8. That's all we know. If you want more details, we can't help you. Lisa Roth has spoken to Sally about being more nervous about parking overnight in Cracker Barrel in my truck trailer common than in my van. She does it often in her rig. Too many cars for me. Casinos are easier. I agree. Lillian Baker says, safe travels. I really enjoy your videos. I haven't started my RV life yet, and I'm really learning a lot from your videos. I found this video incredibly useful in the Cracker Barrel and casinos always mentioned as a free stay. Clearly can be a headache sometimes. Always have a plan B. Also very impressive how you recover from surgery while on the road. Don says, stayed at Tucson Cracker Camp several times. Always busy, but we always find a place. Well, we went at lunchtime and we weren't finding a place. And we needed 2 places. Question, I watch Adventure Van Man. He also has videos set up where he's driving. The big picture is forward out the front, then down in the corner is a smaller picture. Could you do something like that instead of a hammer and switch back and forth? Thanks for the great videos. No, I just like, no. I've done. This is so frustrating for me because no matter how I do driving videos, someone has a complaint. I've done it every possible way they can do it, so I'm just going to do it the way I want to do it, and the complainers and the suggesters are just going to be ignored. Marilyn Decker, Rob, if you don't go get into the park in town, will you pay the $600 to go back to boondocking? Yeah, probably, yeah. You had it right when you said almost 5 months. Good luck to you. Stay safe. All right. John says, glad to see your recovery's going well. Cheryl is amazing. Admit it, you wanted to ride on that golf cart? That's Tommy. Yeah, I did. Let's see. Dusty Cat Travels, have a great time. Which flying camera do you have? I have the DJI. Nancy Mandera says, I feel like I'm riding in your truck with you as I'm watching. That's the idea, to have you sitting in the co-pilot seat. Anthony Jackson says, hey Rob, do you think the price of eggs is worth the wear and tear on a hen's butt? You know what, Anthony, your comment's going to get removed. It's just not funny. Little, no. Maria Fuentes, looks like a nice RV bike. Hope you and Cheryl get a well-deserved rest. Let's see. Tony, we were shut down on the 10 and New Mexico border heading west for 3 hours due to dust storms. Wow. Don says, how was spending the night at the casino? Did you feel insecure? Reason I asked is because you said you never did this before. No, didn't give it a second thought. Cheryl said it was noisy, but people that say it's noisy, when I'm with them, it's like I must sleep like a rock because I don't hear anything. Roseanne said, I'm full-time RVer on the road, said, no voice. Well, I said, that's got to be on your end because I just listen to it. It's fine, and no one else is complaining. Let's see. Ken, I was asking about the price of eggs. They seem to be coming way down. There was in Quartzite, I spent $10 on jumbos, and then I went to DG Market a couple weeks later, and I spent $3.69 for regular. So Ken came to my rescue. He says, trying to resist. Then you mentioned my name. According to USA Today on 4/6, 4/6 was what? Today's the 11th, so it was 5 days ago. National egg prices fell 9% last week to an average of $3 a dozen. And they still talk about egg prices on the news channels. Why? Scenes from Oregon. I would love to see or hear about how you settle in for one night stand on your trailer. Do you hook up for everything? Do you unhook from the truck? Do you put down your stabilizers? When we're doing a one night stand, we often leave the truck hooked up unless we're going to drive somewhere in town. Just wondering how long it is going as you're recovering. It could take some time and effort even for do-over. No, I when I'm traveling, I never unhook my truck. I never put the stabilizers down. I set the emergency brake on my truck, and that's it. And the stairs come down, and the slide comes out. That's it. So I do not detach, and I don't. J-Step, dust storms are a real menace, but it's best bet is to pull ahead of it, of going into it. If there's an exit, take it, wait it out, get as far off the road as you can. Sean's Life says, welcome back to New Mexico. Yeah, it took the first couple of days to get there. Dottie said, wake me up when you get there. Yes, she did. Dane the First said, I love this nice long video and interaction with Cheryl. Hope you have a great lunch and good night's sleep. We did. We had a great lunch. Pete says, Pete Diaz really enjoyed this video. Friends are better than money. Yes, they are. In regards to Tombstone, I felt the same way about Wall Drug, South Dakota, but it was a tourist trap, but equally fabulously interesting. That was Virginia Hankey. Texas Lady said, great video. I backed up on the video to see the Roadrunner on the hill. It's a statue that the pub camper Cheryl pointed out, but I didn't see, but I filmed it. And they're saying, yeah, it marker 32 minutes, 37 seconds. The statue's on the right. And that's on Full-Time RVer on the Road, which the thumbnail says New Mexico, Las Cruces. That internet works on public lands. Yeah, my Starlink works anywhere. Also, my AT&T works on public lands. Do you know support services for people with disabilities to manage all financial tasks, stay organized for this lifestyle? There is no organization exactly like that, but I referred this person to the Homes on Wheels Alliance, has some things like that. Be Love Unconditional. Where do you find info on camp hosting trades? Do a search on YouTube and you'll find lots of people showing you how to do that. Do a search on Facebook. There are Facebook groups on camp hosting. I mean, it's a huge topic. If you want to do national parks, you can go to the national park that you want to go to their website. State parks have a website and they all have camp hosting information. And then the best place for private RV parks where there's camp hosting, where you might even get paid, is Facebook groups. Dusty Cat Travels, pop culture reference from my youth, Rick Dees. Yeah, I talked about Rick Dees. Let's see. Montana's Wife, I always believe that unasked for advice is criticism. It really is. You know, when you observe someone doing something and then you point out how they could have done it better, that's criticism. When your wife, when you observe something doing something and they look at you and say, hey, do you have any suggestions on how I can improve this? That's nice advice. Don Don says, is the spirit of outdoors, says the best way to do it is to do it the way you like it. J Step says 9 miles per gallon. I hope you use those gas price apps. I'd say J Step is not an RVer. I can guarantee you. RV life, trying to caravan is not the easiest way to travel. By the way, I think I ended up with right at 10 miles per gallon for the whole trip. It varies because you're going over mountain passes. And Rich Bowley says, feel like I'm with you. Thanks for sharing. Nancy Madera says, it's your channel. I like watching it. Do it your way. It's all good. Don Collin Creative. Constructive comments are the end of a lot of YouTubers. The survivors let go of tendency to take everyone's comments as criticism. Just do Rob. Do the channel. I don't tune in for great cinematic film, but the authenticity of your moment. Your voice calms me. When it doesn't, I turn it off. John Barber, if what you're doing works, don't do it more. If what you're doing doesn't work, try something else. I used to live there in the escapees. I wonder what escapees they're talking about. But hot and snakes in the summer. Let's see. Ken says, for your video format, you can please some of the people some of the time, but not all the people all the time. So your best bet is to please yourself. Suggestions are all very well, and you can even give some ideas, but it's your video, do it your way. Hey, Rob, it's all good. When the visual is too bright for my particular issues, I scroll up and listen to your discussions like a podcast. Very enjoyable to follow your story. Margaret Wells, don't worry about haters. Think they're the ones who are sitting there on the couch trying to act like they know all. Ignore the haters. Pamela says, morning, Rob. I like everything you do. I love your face and the road also. Keep up the good work. Ken says, that person on the trike waved and I waved back. Gotta have it. That's funny. Daryl the Explorer. Hey, Daryl, my brother Daryl. That pass out of La Cruces is a steep one. My RV grunted a little too. Beautiful view on top, like you said. Love white sands. Road is covered in beautiful white sand like snow. Would love to see the dinosaur and human tracks. Discovered a couple years ago. They're millions of years old. Read right in history. I think the oldest human footprints are in the U.S. Susan says, some people like to discover error in the rest of humanity. It's their only source of pleasure. Please ignore them. I think you have an open mind to suggestion, but you know what you're doing and what works for your videos. There's no reason to change your methods. I love your videos. You have a winning cast. Thank you. Renee Slater, ignore the critics. Steve, 9 miles per hour is not bad. There's an RVer. I do 6 to 8 with my F350 F1 Raptor pulling my enclosed car trailer, doing 65 to 70. So there. And I told you I got 10. Very like 9.8, 9.9. Thumbs up, do it your way, says William. Diana Soapmaker says, Ani, just keeping up with your YouTube while recovering and relocating is a lot. Who cares about the rest? Hope you're feeling better. Question for you. What tranquilizer did your vet prescribe for George? Hang on. Need to look it up real quick here. I will tell you. What is it going to be in? Did I put it in My Medical? You know what? I don't have it. I don't have it. And the best thing to do is, just talk to your vet. I don't have it handy. I'm sorry. I'm glad it made your destination. Can't believe people try to tell you how to make your video. Thanks, controller. And his name's Dave. Lisa and 4617. This is what I'm willing to do. I think she's quoting me. Perfect. Love your honesty. You're living your life. Willing to share with us with some tips and tricks along the way. Thank you. Pamela Knoll says, I'm very appreciative of how you do it your way. You also role model someone in the helping profession. You don't cave to the opinions of others. Good teaching by example. Awesome says, I'm not sure I understand that one, so I'm not going to read it. It's fine, but it's just a little complicated. I don't feel so bad. I do good when with my motorhome, but have not gotten back into a spot down. I'm sorry if it disappoints you, but I'm terrible at backing my RV. Cotty Wample said, went on Route 70 to Roswell. Max elevation in the mountains was 7,500. I saw they had RV parks up there. I passed a location called Into the Gods. Not sure what that was about. Charlie and Diane said, great video. Charlie says that Pup Camper and he like the same things. Sonic, onion rings, Denny's, and Harbor Freight. Glad you could travel together. Beautiful scenery. Let's see. I was just thinking about Roswell. You're so close. You're going to go see the Aliens Museum. Cheryl, you could see it on your way to Tennessee. Let's see. Glad to see Carlsbad. I haven't been through in quite some time. May try to go to the caverns this year. That was Texas Lady. Judy says, I'm not sure, but I think I counted 3 Taco Bells in Carlsbad. That's funny. Lee says, I enjoy watching your travels and news breaks. I'm retired and my wife works. I travel through you. I just want to thank you. Always sending prayers. So glad you're doing better after surgery. Deborah says, as somewhat of a local, I'm laughing at your astonishment of Carlsbad as being a pretty real town. We can all thank the oil boom that has been going on in southeast New Mexico for the past 18 years for all the positive growth in our cool little towns like Carlsbad, Artesia, and Roswell, and others. The extra tax revenue has seen the roads rebuilt, newer chain stores coming and making our areas more comfortable and restoring a lot of the older buildings. Enjoy our little pieces of heaven called Southeast New Mexico. I do like it in this little area. Great video, and I already joined Pup Camper's channel. That was Controller. San Rafael HOA. I like it when you talk about the actual towing process, like miles per gallon, and how it was 30 miles per hour going up the grade. I'm curious what the grade was there. Also, tow capacity and the weight of your rig. Reminders for us, even how to get gas without pissing people off. All these things are great for those doing research. I'm still working, retiring 2 years, but looking. I'm looking at SKP base camps as well. Get on waiting lists. No reason you can't get on a waiting list now. Thanks so much. I'm researching SKP bag stands for my home. These videos have been helpful. Let's see. I think All right. Hello, I'm from Syria. I watched a video on YouTube about a year ago in which you talked about your problem with your Dell G15 laptop. I own the same laptop and the same problem happened to me. As I told you, I'm in Syria and do the repair experience is very bad. Do you know the solution to this problem? Well, not exact. Mine has been solved, but I don't know which thing I did that solved it. I replaced the battery and I upgraded the BIOS, and that seemed to solve the problem. I haven't had that problem since. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. I know it's a long one, but it's been a lot of days since I've done the comments video. And we'll see you soon. Take care.